talk. Call number 347-326-9741. 347-326-9741. I am the guy who the show is named for. I am the Butcher. What's up, brother? BillBrown1.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. And we got a special treat. Special treat for everybody tonight because this guy's usually MIA. Sometimes calls in a little late and then puts us on hold a lot of the times. But he's here, he's present, and he's now. Scott from Modesto, a.k.a. Steve. What's up, buddy?
Not much. You guys, you're right. You guys should be lucky that I decided to grace you with my presence today.
Hey, absolutely, dude. You know, I don't expect you to be here. I'm very stoked. And I figured what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to pass the torch over to you, and I'm going to go and probably go lay down for a little bit.
I don't know about all that.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Oh. So, what have you guys been up to? I mean, obviously we had a week off, an unexpected week off, you know.
I'm assuming that the extenuating circumstances behind that week off are, it was understandable, I believe.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, what could have possibly happened? I mean, I don't know if anybody listened to, the Monday show or anything, but, I guess it was understandable that we would take a back seat. I was going to try. If you remember, I was tired, but, I'm actually tired tonight, but not too tired to step it up and try to fill 2 hours of time, maybe just an hour, people. Depends on how vibrant I feel in a little bit.
Well, yes. Oh, yes, exactly. As far as what the music bed is saying, my brother currently has my homeless family in his house doing laundry because, yes, their house did burn down, unfortunately, last Monday.
Oh, yes.
And they're still displaced, and, they're trying to blow the stink off of what clothes they have left. So yeah, I think taking a week off was definitely needed. This psychopath that's playing the funny sound effects and the inappropriate songs. He was actually ready to go the night of. Matter of fact, his broadcast partner for that show finally had to say, "Yo, slow down. Your parents' house burned down. We're not doing a show tonight."
Listen, let's not paint Nick Frank into any sort of nice light or anything like that. He's still my arch nemesis.
He didn't want to do it. He just gave him another reason to not show up, So he was just like, wow, all right.
Exactly. He was looking for any excuse to back out of it. Just take what was offered.
He was sitting there.
If I wouldn't have stepped up and said, let's, actually he just stepped in and convinced me not to, but he would have found a way to get out of it anyway.
Yeah, he would have had something with his pending nuptials that he would have to do. He would maybe pick out a China pattern or something.
Well, that's okay. That all ends this Friday. This Friday, his life is over as he knows it, and he has a very happy occasion to attend his wedding. So, there will be no more. I got to talk to the DJ. I got to get my cock measured to make sure it fits in my tuxedo pants. You know what I mean? None of that stuff anymore. It's all over with. So there's no more excuses after this. He's going to have 100% attendance, or that's it. It's over. He gets all his points taken away.
I don't know, man. You're not taking into account the honeymoon, the wife aggro, when he is trying to do things. So
Apparently, Dom said it's a size 2 on that one. I said he was getting his dick measured. Dominic Astino has joined us tonight, also known as Dom from Eatontown. Unless he doesn't want me to say that, maybe he wants a different alias on the Wednesday show.
You know what? I have a feeling that guy doesn't know shit about MMA. That's,
I don't know what you're talking about.
But it's okay. I only pretend to know shit about MMA, so,
Well, that's all you have to do. That's what it's all about. But, speaking, he just writes in, hey, guys, what's going on? But, there's some big news. There's some big happenings this weekend in the world of mixed martial arts.
Do tell.
I figured, I know I'm a fan. I'm pretty sure you guys are fans as well. And I'm pretty sure if Dom's not a fan, he could certainly appreciate this guy. He's a big bull of a man. He's going to be entering. He's going to be going to Poland. His name has to be Bob the Tap Sap. He's going to Poland to go to KSW 19. I believe that's how these Roman numerals pan out. I'm not 100% sure though. KSW 19. He's going to try. I'm assuming he's going to try his damnedest. He's going to try to break his current 5-fight losing streak against the previous, the world's strongest man, Mariusz Pudzianowski. So I know I'm stoked. But before we get into this and talking about how excited we are about this fight, did you know that there was a little contest that Bob Sapp was offering people about this to corner Bob Sapp?
Oh, how did I miss this?
Yeah, listen to this.
The beast is afraid to get hit. The beast has to work on stamina. The beast has a body of an elephant, heart of a mouse. Shut up! I've heard it all. Keyboard warriors, I'm sick and tired of you hiding behind your avatars. Zip it. Got something to say? Say it to my face. Shut up or get sapped up. Mom, body of an elephant, heart of a hamster? Oh my gosh. Bob Sapp TV announces its first ever video contest. That's right. The winning subscriber of Clips will be issued a free round-trip ticket to my next fight. Now, because it's anywhere around the world, a valid visa and/or passport is required. Other than that, there's really nothing to it. So, tell me what you think. Don't worry. I can take it. 1, 2, 3, hit me! Bob Sapp TV is the place to be. Explore your mind and your creativity. Do your best when you join the contest. Do your best when you join the contest. And change from a fan to an international corner man. Yippee, 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 yippee. That said, without a doubt, I'm out. Hey, that was great. That was great.
There's still a minute and 30 left, but I can't keep going with it. Boy, I had to get to that song there. That was the most important part of that fucking clip because, Bob Sapp is obviously, as I have pointed out, a very serious fighter, and he's proven it with all his little videos he makes on Bob Sapp TV. But I know I'm excited for this fight. What do you guys think of that promo? Do you think Bob Sapp's ready for this? I mean, obviously, letting some ham and egger like us win a contest to go corner him proves to me that he's really coming to fight on May 12th here.
Especially because, the extent of any advice that I'd be able to give him would be, punch that guy. Punch that guy. Just
I like how
punch
Dom
that
says,
guy and don't get punched. Punch him.
Dom says, this can't be real. If so, I need to start watching more MMA. Dom, I hate to disappoint you. It isn't all like this, but occasionally you get a rare character like this guy who literally is a professional wrestler at this point in his career. Still getting out there, going into real fights, but not really putting his heart and soul into it.
I find it hysterical also that he's got another fight lined up 9 days later. So he's apparently expecting to just be done in like 30 seconds and take no damage. So I'm calling he's going to trip on the mat, and it's going to be some sort of knee injury, like at Super Fight League 1. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he'll be miraculously healed by May 21st when he's going to fight at CFC 21 in Sydney, Australia. Basically, Tom, this guy is like the MMA equivalent of the Job Squad from WWF all those years ago, the guys who just literally let you know that they came out to lose all the time. This is what Bob Sapp is doing. He's just allowing people to pay him to show up in foreign countries to supposedly fight, and usually headline because he's pretty well known. But he literally his last loss was against a complete ham and egger, and he basically tripped over the mat and pretended to be hurt. No, wait, that was the James Thompson fight. He had another one since then. Yeah, that's right. He had another one since then where he basically he took this punch that I don't know, man. A baby could have thrown a harder punch, and he reacted as if it almost killed him. So, this dude is fighting almost every 2 weeks and just collecting a paycheck and laughing all the way to the bank. It's awesome.
I don't know, I think I saw a star come up in front of his head, before that punch was thrown. I think it was a star punch. That's why he was knocked out. It was a star punch. He couldn't defend against the star punches.
That's incredible. How do you see this one ending, Steve?
I
think Billy's being a bit of a cynic.
He did like the little pirouettes that all of the punch-out guys do when you hit them, and you even heard the sounds woo, 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 just before he hit the ground. It was awesome.
Well, Bob Sapp is definitely an entertaining individual. Steve, I think Billy's being a bit of a cynic. I think Bob Sapp's going to come into this ready to dominate Mariusz Pudzianowski, but I want to know how you think this one's going to end.
I think it'll probably end quicker than the video was.
That was a long-ass video, but I had to get to that song, dude. I mean, I'm gonna play it really low under us just so we can get back to the song.
I'm pretty sure that, I'm sure he went over things with the Polish staff because they want Pudzianowski to get a W. So he's like, that's cool. He's like, I'm cool with that. Just pay me.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Pudzianowski is now proven to be a legitimate MMA star, and I believe he's got a very respectable 5-3 record. He has gotten his face beaten by the likes of James the Colossus Thompson twice, by the way. The second time that Mariusz and James Thompson fought, the judges turned around and declared Mariusz Pudzianowski the winner when the Colossus Thompson beat him up for 3 rounds mercilessly. And obviously that meant that the fight was fixed in the judges' eyes. And James Thompson went nuts in the middle of the ring and eventually had it declared a no contest when he brought it up to the board over there in Poland because, I mean, nobody, you didn't even have to ever watch an MMA fight before to realize, like, there's no way in the world Mariusz could have won that fight. And so I'm going to say that you're being a cynic as well. I don't think the Polish KSW is trying to inflate Pudzianowski's record.
Remember, it is Poland, so maybe the loss is really a W in Poland.
Oh, Jesus, Steve. Jesus. Oh.
The opposite day.
I can't believe you just said that. That is not right. I can't find my sounder or else I hit it. Goddamn. Oh, here it is. Well, it was a little delayed. That's why I was going, I was trying to extend it out so I can find it. I just have, I don't know if I've said this, but I've inundated this board with just so much shit that I can't even find what I'm looking for anymore. It's ridiculous. But, no, all kidding aside, yes, of course, Pudzianowski's going to come out and show that he still hasn't learned how to throw a punch or learned how to take anyone down or, for that matter, even learned how to fight. And somehow, some way, he is going to beat Bob Sapp in the very first round of that fight, probably like Billy said, within the first 30 seconds. I might say a minute and a half, but that's being a little generous because we know Bob's got some work to do next weekend as well. So, he's going to want to get out of there fairly quick. He wants to get that paycheck. He wants to get it cashed to make sure nobody tries to fucking call it back up and say, this guy didn't earn it. I got to put a stop on that thing. And then he's going to fly back to Japan and then make some more videos. And
he's going to go to the first liquor store and get that shit cashed.
Oh, Jesus. Listen, if I was still down by the sounder, I Hold on one second.
He'll
Let's
pay
pretend...
that $3 fee to get that check cashed. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't
He
need that.
needs to get that done as soon as possible before they realize it was their mistake.
Thanks for keeping that going. Thanks for keeping that going, guys, because I was having a little trouble. The mouse was stuck for some reason, and I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. But I just want to do this again.
Can I just ask, is Putz gonna be, you know, basically pulling a tractor trailer at Bob Sapp, or what, you know, or throwing a beer keg over an 18-foot wall? Is that, you know, I only know this dude from the strongman competitions when I used to stay up all goddamn night and watch ESPN for no reason.
Well,
yeah.
Putz is going to be throwing, his hands are basically the size of beer kegs, even though he's only 4'11". He weighs about 326. And, you know, he really packs a mean punch. So, no, he'll be throwing those things, but, you know, he can't throw a punch properly. But all it's going to take is for him to miss Bob's chin by a centimeter, and Bob's going to drop like nobody's business.
This guy's tapped the punches before? I'm not even talking about Sapp. I'm talking about Putz.
Yeah,
so.
Tim Sylvia was beating the balls off of him, and
nice.
that was his first real fighter that he ever fought, and Tim just kicked the shit out of him, and he tapped. All of a sudden, he was like, "Holy shit, this stuff is almost like how Bob Sapp's career went, except Bob, you know, actually went out and fought some real tough dudes early in his career, and then realized, nah, this isn't for me. This isn't for me at all. But I'm a huge hit over here in Japan. Yeah, this was a mistake." Huge hit over here in Japan. I'm going to make this shit work for me, but now I'm just going to become a professional loser. And I think it works for him. I think it's great that Bob Sapp's still hanging in there. So kudos to him. Oh, I forgot that I was waiting for the song to pop. Oh, well, I can't deal with that. I should have just recorded that song separately so I could have fucking brought it up from time to time. Oh, well, I stink.
Hello, stream of consciousness. I'm just going to berate myself because I've missed some silly promo in the background.
Oops. Yeah, sorry about that.
Uh-oh. Oh, so I can't wait. Where can I catch this fight against between Mr. Sapp and because I mean obviously this is a huge pay-per-view draw.
Well,
these two stars of MMA.
Here, let me look that up for you real quick. Nowhere. Nowhere. I don't believe. You'll probably, you know, you'll be able to catch it. Somebody's going to record it and put it up on YouTube, and it'll be all over the MMA blogs on Saturday, because everybody's going to be fucking saying how ridiculous Bob Sapp is once again.
Beautiful. So I'll get to be able to see this fight via, a damn iPhone video. Essentially, is what you're telling me.
Well, that's what happened in the last one. Oh, no, I'm thinking of the Kimbo Slice one. That was the one that was shot on the magical iPhone. That's right. That was Kimbo Slice last night, which was amazing as well. You know, that dude didn't dive for Kimbo in the last 2 seconds. No way.
No, not at all. That was totally on the up and up.
That's what you got to love about boxing. It's completely legit. Well, anyway, God bless Bob Sapp. I'm actually very jealous of the man because he is quite rich off of this ridiculous character he plays, and he just loses for a living. He's going on. This will be his 6th loss in a row coming Saturday. You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. He will lose. It'll be his 6th loss in a row, and then the following week will be his 7th loss in a row.
He's lost 9 of his last 11. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually pretty impressive when you think about it. I mean, not impressive in a good way, but definitely impressive in a bad way.
More sad than impressive.
It is. But you know what, man? You know what? Bob is a headliner. We all know the first Super Fight League he headlined, and they are yet to call him back. But you know what? Here, let's get this going. Ooh, nice. Gives me chills. I don't think Dom's ever heard this before. Since he's the only one listening to us, I gotta treat him to it, you know. Dom, listen to the lyrics. It's all the lyrics.
Pow, punch, kick, wow. Drop her to the mat with the push now. Super Fight League. cause this shit is blood. Why I gotta fight in the ring in the mud? Why I gotta fight for the opportunity to beat the
We wish it was Slash Day. We wish it was Slash. No, it's some Indian over in India, some Indian rapper who came up with this song. But no, I only played it because we were talking about Bob Sapp. He headlined the first Super Fight League, and like I said, they haven't called him back, but they did call back his opponent in that headlining fight, James the Colossus Thompson. He just headlined Super Fight League 3 this past Saturday. No, it's not Fozzy either, D. Moon Goose McQueen. Wasn't that his name?
It most certainly was.
See, I'm good. I know my Fozzy. But no, they called back James the Colossus Thompson, the headline, Super Fight League 3, this past Saturday. And you know who we fought, boys?
Bobby Lashley.
Yes, he did. Bobby Lashley, Billy. Ding, 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 ding. You are correct.
Nice. Someone else Bob Sapp has lost to.
Well, you know, I mean, and here's the thing. Bobby Lashley apparently didn't get the memo. He thought Bob Sapp was coming in to really fight him. So he took Bob Sapp down and mercilessly pounded his face in. And Bob Sapp out.
What a surprise.
But no, James the Colossus Thompson was invited back to headline Super Fight League 3. And, yes, he fought Bobby Lashley. And now James Thompson has ran his current unbeaten streak to 4 in a row. Because he beat Bobby Lashley by unanimous decision, 29-28, which I don't know what's more impressive. The fact that James the Colossus Thompson has won 4 in a row, or the fact that Bobby Lashley lost to James the Colossus Thompson. It doesn't make sense to me.
I actually watched that fight. I didn't see the rest of the card, so I have no idea how the rest of the card looked. All I got to say is that if Bobby Lashley took Bob Sapp seriously, he must not have taken James Thompson seriously. You know, because with the exception of the first round, where he did manage to get the Colossus to the ground. And he wasn't really able to hold him there. And this is a guy that's, a high-level wrestler. He even spent some time in the WWE, which
as get more high level than that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that right there is just, the highest level of competition ever.
Well, according to the wrestlers that wrestle there, yes, it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not scripted or anything. I mean, shit. Every time somebody tries to tell me that it's fake, I just have to, get up in their face and be like, no, it's not, man. No,
it's real to me, damn it.
It's so real to me, damn it. I got to find that video now.
Woo!
But, he wasn't able to hold the Colossus down. And, I mean, that's all that the announcing team, that wonderful announcing team of the New York Badass and some other guy kept saying was... Oh, God.
Phil Baroni impersonation. I don't know if I've ever said that before.
Phil Baroni is so awful at that job.
Look at the body on her!
He actually, I lied. I started to watch another fight, and I didn't watch the card in order. I watched the Thompson-Lashley fight, and then it just started playing another one. It was some dude who was his first professional fight, and the person cornering him was his 6-foot-tall model girlfriend.
Ooh.
And basically, because they give Phil Baroni the keys to the cage job, and which he fumbles over all the time, even though he's got the script in front of him. So he sits there and he goes, "Oh, he's got to keep it on his feet, because the martial art that he does, it's mostly fought on its feet. And, he owns a gym, so he's got cardio for days. So he's got to keep this going until the end of the fight. He's got to make it go the distance. He save some energy for that girl in his corner there." That's literally what this monkey said.
Awesome.
Literally what this monkey said. And in between rounds, she came in, and he was just like, "Oh, look, Kong's old lady's in the ring." And the other guy that's with him is just like, "Really, old lady? We're gonna go there?"
They fucking hate him. Everybody who they put him in there, they put him in there with a new guy every show, and they're just disgusted with him by the middle of the show. It's amazing.
They refuse to work with him anymore.
He's probably sweating fucking pasta. He's probably sweating tomato sauce all over him, you know. Dom can understand. He's one of his people. He knows what I'm talking about. Hold on. I gotta scroll down. Jesus. Oh, man, I wish I had a better board. It'd be amazing.
I wish you had a board.
Yeah, I wish I... Exactly. I like how I pretend like it's a board. There we go. Hold the lid, everybody. Go on. I'm sorry. I interrupted someone.
Yeah, no, I mean, anyway, the fight, you know, they were, of course, during that fight, it was... Yeah, it was Baroni and some other dude, and like one of the owners of the place, the guy that the owners of Super Fight League, the guys that keep saying, "Oh,
yeah.
he's the Robert De Niro of India,"
Right.
And that means
what was his name?
dick
Patel?
to me. At least a 70% shot, but you know I couldn't tell you what his name actually is. And they're talking like this is the greatest fight they've ever seen. Now, there was a couple of times where it was, pretty fun to watch because you saw these two behemoths just hucking punches at one another, you know, and that's one of the other things, too, Baroni. It's just like, oh, just look at these guys. They're just slinging them. Just slinging them. He must have said they're just slinging them about 85 times. But otherwise, it was kind of slow and sloppy. You know, I mean, I thought that for James Thompson, I thought he looked pretty good for him since he's usually just a complete tomato can. But Lashley, I think I've seen him fight one other time, and I can't remember that other fight. So this is an awful one for me to see because he looked sluggish and slow, and he wasn't able to hold this guy down. And so I don't know. I mean, they're talking about putting James Thompson in the Super Fight League championship picture.
He deserves
and I'm like, yeah, hey, good for you. You know, you fought Bob Sapp and a shitty Bobby Lashley. So hey, congrats. And that's all I have to say about that.
Interesting. No, I mean, James the Colossus, when he first started out, he was supposed to be a fucking, possibly one of the next big things. And then, of course, he started out great. I believe at one point in the man's career, I shit you not, he was sitting at like 12-1. And then all of a sudden, a landslide of losses happened. Literally a landslide of losses. Lots of back-to-backs. Sometimes 3 in a row, 4 in a row. He looks like he's gotten back on track, and it's obvious that he's taken it to the top level of his game. He's fighting all the best fighters in the world, and I really do think that they should consider him to be put up there for the Super Heavyweight Championship. I mean, I know I'm going to be tuning in for that one, even though I keep forgetting to tune into Super Fight League. What about you, Steve?
I'll probably be working, so I probably won't be able to watch it, but... I'd watch it for the shits and giggles.
Sure.
Because, just for the sideshow attraction of it.
He's got nothing guts.
And that. And for Phil Baroni would be the only reason why I would.
Yeah, I love it. I love listening to Phil.
Otherwise, there's really nothing to grab my attention other than the sideshow aspect of it and the speaking ability of Phil Baroni, so...
Phil Baroni's entertaining. I mean, he might be the dumbest person on the face of the earth. But, and I'm only going to say that to you guys because he could split my face open so quickly. I don't ever want him to hear this. So let's just keep it between me and you guys, okay?
Oh.
But he is dumber than rocks. And but I find it very amusing. I forgot to actually watch this card, Billy, so I'm glad you watched the fight because I had nothing on it. But the other two Super Fight Leagues, I've tried. I've watched the first one completely. Second one, I watched bits and pieces. I felt they've had some pretty good fight cards overall. Really, I think they're doing a good job. The only problem is they're having trouble finding people tuning in. I believe the first one pulled in something like, since they're doing the live feeds through YouTube and everything, something like I think 300,000 viewers. And then Super Fight League 2 had something like 99,000 viewers. And I didn't even look at the numbers for Super Fight League 3 because I think it was 2. It's not impressive, is what I'm trying to say. It's not impressive. And the numbers are going down, so, hanging your hat on James the Colossus Thompson is not exactly the greatest thing because, A, nobody knows him for the most part. All they can remember is Kimbo blowing his ear apart on national TV. And, excuse me. And two, when they look at his record, like I said, when he started out his career well, but with all his losses in a row that he piled up, most people are going to go, this guy?
Let me give you an idea here, Brian. I'm currently on Super Fight League's YouTube channel.
Nice.
Okay? The main event, Bobby Lashley versus James Thompson.
That's a good one.
Which, granted, it was only just put up on May 7th. This particular video. I don't have the number. I don't have the numbers of the actual feed.
Right.
But since the video was posted 3 days ago, only 10,000 people have looked at it.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
10,102. Because it actually says 103, but this is the second time today I'm going on here, so they're probably counting me twice and fuck that.
Oof.
So,
oh boy.
Yeah, that's right. They're inflating their numbers.
Things ain't panning out so good then, is what I'm seeing.
I mean, I would love to know what the actual viewing numbers were for when it was live. I wish there was a way for me to track that down, but. Overall though, they have like 2,100 subscribers, which is awful. But they do have about 810,000 video views. So I mean,
really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's probably mostly Super Fight League 1.
Possibly. But you were talking, okay, so you didn't see it. So unfortunately, you also didn't get to see the fantastic James Thompson interview afterwards.
Shit.
Yeah, because, hey, he won, so of course they talked to him.
Sure, yeah.
And I couldn't tell you a single thing that this damn line he said.
Well, recorded.
He definitely is. If there was anybody stupider than Phil Baroni in the arena, it was the guy in the main event. Because first of all, he tried to do the boom pow punch kick wow thing twice over the course of his interview. So hey, good on him for trying to get that little catchphrase over. But you couldn't, he just first of all, the guy who was interviewing him, which was the Indian Bobby De Niro, when he first got to the ring and shoved the mouthpiece in Thompson's face, Thompson took it from him and just started talking like, hey, I don't need you. Okay, so he just started. I couldn't tell you what this mushmouth said. And I don't know if he normally sounds this retarded or if it was because, Bobby Lashley kind of tuned his face up a little bit over the course of the fight. But, yeah, I couldn't make heads or tails out of what he was saying. I did catch the boom, pow, punch, kick, wow twice, though. So, hey, he was at least trying to work it. I couldn't. It was more entertaining than Phil Baroni, but less intelligent. So,
sure, yeah.
Is that possible?
I didn't think so. I did not think so until I watched this mess try to talk on the microphone. So,
you know what Bobby Lashley needs to do, fellers? You know what he needs to do? He needs to stop dicking around and maybe try to get that ECW World Heavyweight title back. You know what I'm saying? Right, that's the one he held, right, Steve? Am I wrong about this?
Is ECW still around?
I think they folded that. I think it failed on the Sci-Fi Channel. I think it's dead.
I think so too.
Oh.
I haven't seen any commercials for it in quite a while. Not that I've been looking
out of the loop. Well, now I feel embarrassed. I thought ECW was still alive and well. I know Paul Heyman, I believe, made a return to wrestling. So,
nice segue, you jerk.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I didn't know professionalism type segueing there whatsoever, you know? Why is there a segue there? Is it because Paul Heyman owned and ran ECW for so many years? Maybe that makes sense to you. Interesting. I did not see his return, so does anybody have any info on the Paul Heyman return? I meant to watch that too, but I've been preoccupied. Oh, you do? Nice.
I actually do. First of all, I'm sure you've heard by now, which is probably shocking to all of us. Mr. Lesnar did not beat John Cena at the Extreme Rules match.
No. Wow.
Out of here.
Yeah, he ended. You didn't know this?
I've been a little with everything that went on. I meant to fucking actually watch that pay-per-view that night, and I forgot to, and then the shit happened the very next day and stuff, and then I never was able to find it again, and I totally kind of got out of the loop,
Yeah. So the Extreme Rules match, apparently Mr. Cena won, and then so as to not completely lose his heat, Brock then went ape shit and, beat the shit out of him and slapped the Kimura on him. That's going to be his new thing, by the way, now. Slapped the Kimura on Cena and, ripped his arm apart. So Cena hasn't been on TV since that pay-per-view.
Fuck him.
And Brock proceeded to run roughshod over, a bunch of people from the back and all that type of stuff when they tried to rip him off Cena and all that type of shit. So then the following night, the night over the fire, when he came out on Raw towards the end, John Laurinaitis came out, was basically, verbally blowing him in the middle of the ring, and talking about how great.
I know you're telling a story. Does the actual moniker say Monday Night Raw starring Brock Lesnar?
Oh, I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
Sweet.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
So, he had come out to meet John Laurinaitis to sort of finalize the demands that he had made for his contract. The thing that you just brought up, the fact that he wanted it to be Monday Night Raw with, starring Brock Lesnar. He wanted more money. He wanted the private jet, blah, blah, blah. So while Johnny Laurinaitis was, just being like, oh, my God, Brock, you are the second coming, and, don't worry, sir, you have everything coming to you that you want, Triple H's music hits.
Yes, I heard something about Triple H being having his career ended.
And Triple H, of course, now his on-screen persona is, more of the chief operations officer. Okay, so he comes down in a suit, and basically dresses down Johnny Laurinaitis, saying, "Hey, you know what? You're just the vice president of talent relations. You have no authority to make these promises to this gentleman." And he basically told Brock, he's like, "Hey, Brock, that private jet that took you here from Minnesota? Unless you want to pay for it, it ain't taking you home. And that limo that took you from the jet to the arena, you can use that, but you're going to be paying the bill, and you're not getting any extra money." And this show is, and always will be Monday Night Raw.
What a dick.
And a little bit of jawing, going on from Triple H. Basically saying, hey, look, we want you here. We want to book the big matches. We think that, whether the crowd loves or hates you, they want to see you. So, we want to have you, but under the original contract that you signed. And, Johnny Laurinaitis kept trying to butt in, saying, hey, I think you're being disrespectful. You should honor, what me and Brock discussed, blah, blah, blah. And Triple H just kept kind of, making him look silly. And so finally, Triple H does the stupid thing and turns his attention fully to Johnny Laurinaitis, turning his back on Brock. And Brock, of course, hits him from behind and starts smashing him in the corner, and eventually put the Kimura on the game, and quote unquote breaks his arm. Oddly enough, Triple H took some pictures with some fans the very next day, and his arm wasn't in a cast or anything like that.
There's
And
no
I
such
believe
thing
he
as
was
kayfabe
actually,
these days.
and I believe he was actually at he was in what's his face's corner, the big boxing match recently.
Mayweather or Cotto?
He was in Mayweather's corner.
Was he?
Yes, he was in Mayweather's corner. You know, because
Get out of here.
Yes, he was. Well, he
Because
also.
I watched that fight online. I didn't see him, and he's a mammoth man.
Yep. He was in Mayweather's corner this this past weekend. You know, and hey, look, there's no cast on that man's arm, but I digress. So anyway, getting to Paul E. Heyman.
Yes.
This past Monday night, he showed up, and he's basically been brought in. You know, since they only have Brock for a limited number of appearances, and they don't want to completely blow their nut. Paul is there to basically be Brock's mouthpiece and
nice.
Brock's legal representation, quote unquote. So, you know, Paul basically said that, you know, he's going to be representing Mr. Lesnar because he feels that, you know, there's been a breach of contract. So that's an angle that they're going to be running. So Paul's going to come out and get Brock over when Brock isn't even in the building. So.
Nice. Well, that's good then.
Yeah,
very
good. Supposedly he's only contracted up through SummerSlam, so it's not like he's back full time or that he's even there. He's not even there through the whole of Brock's contract, but and maybe Don from Eatontown knows this, but a few months back, CM Punk cut a promo where he identified himself as not a Vince McMahon guy, as a Paul Heyman guy. So I think that would be that might be an interesting sort of thing to sort of move toward. That maybe there'll be a little static between the two Paul Heyman guys, on the show. So that might be a little way to go.
Well, I hope we see that, because I know CM Punk can definitely work a match well. And, from what I've heard, he's also trained a little bit in a mixed martial arts, so maybe it's a little bit more of a even playing field. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, CM Punk can work a good match, and Brock can botch a shooting star press. So that's, I mean...
Hey,
that's totally not fair.
Thank God he's got that fucking meaty neck and everything, or else that motherfucker would be dead. So did Paul Heyman look disheveled and like he stank to high heavens as usual?
Well, you know what? I didn't actually watch it.
Oh.
But I'm assuming that Paul E. looked just as bald and just as fat and doughy as he normally did. So
that's fucking great. That is great.
With his terrible, terrible ponytail and his completely bald head. I'm sure that's what he was sporting.
I love that dude. That dude rules. I just loved how he was calling out when Brock was still in MMA. When Brock, I believe it was either when he won the title or when he went and defended it against Frank Mir, and he literally kind of called out like all the other wrestlers that were sitting around like in his area. Like he's like, we've been friends for years, and me and Brock go way back, and our kids are friends and everything. And then all of a sudden, you just got people showing up who never even talked to the guy, And there's like, you see Bill Goldberg like standing right there, and obviously he was just taking a pot shot at Bill Goldberg. It was fucking hysterical. He was such a dick.
But yeah.
So wrestling sounds like it's going to heat up.
Yeah, that's the story with Paul Heyman. So
we got to start watching wrestling again if Paul Heyman's back.
I'll have to find out exactly when he's on, and just switch it off like as soon as one of the useless divas come on, or one of the many people that I have no idea who they are. Yes.
I don't know if I agree with that. They get oiled up in matches, you know what I'm saying? What's that, Steve?
So they are rather attractive.
That's all well and good, but no offense. If I'm looking for that sort of thing, I can find that all over my computer. What I'm tuning into that for, Unlike you, I don't need a squeegee to access my computer screen all the time.
What are you talking about? I can see.
I don't need to wipe off my screen with a chamois after every time I use it.
Listen. If I don't, then it'll get inside all the components. I can't help it.
That's disgusting.
Well,
oh man.
I don't know. I guess maybe we'll hit the break, and then we'll see how long we're going to finish filling time. I know it's only 11 minutes till the hour, but what the fuck, right? What the fuck?
Why not? Man?
Let's see what I'm going to play here first. I'm just going to keep mumbling because I got to scroll through things.
Scroll.
Oh, wait a second. Maybe I'll play this. I don't know. Let's see here.
Built the pyramids. Built the Parthenon. Built America. This is your song. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is your song. Thank you.
The beast is afraid to get hit. The beast has to work on stamina. The beast has a body of an elephant, heart of a mouse. Shut up! I've heard it all. Keyboard warriors, I'm sick and tired of you hiding behind your avatars. Zip it. Got something to say? Say it to my face. Shut up or get sapped up. Mom. Body of an elephant, heart of a hamster? Oh my gosh. Offset TV announces its first ever video contest. That's right. The winning subscriber post video will be issued a free round trip ticket to my next fight. Now, because it's anywhere around the world, a valid visa and or passport is required. Other than that, there's really nothing to it. So, tell me what you think. Don't worry. I can take it. 1, 2, 3, hit me! Bob TV is the place to be. Explore your mind and your creativity. Do your best when you join the contest. Do your best when you join the contest. You change from a fan to an international corner man. Yippee, 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 yippee. That said, without a doubt, I'm out. Hey, that was great. That was great. You think I should get an agent?
Yes.
Yes. Hey, you guys wanna get some burgers and fries? What? What?
Still a minute.
I can show you how to use
Still a minute.
chopsticks.
Contest winner will receive one round-trip ticket to CFC 21 in Australia, May 18th. $300 spending money, hotels and meals covered. VIP access to the fight. Walk into the arena with the Beast. Become the Beast's corner man for the evening's fight. Just create a 30-second video demonstrating your admiration or hatred for the Beast and tell him why you want to be in his corner. Post your video to your YouTube channel and place it in the reply section of this video. Your video must contain the address youtube.com/BobSapTV somewhere in the video. Must be 21 or older to enter. Please title your video Bob Sap TV Video Contest. Contest winner will be chosen on May 13th. No profanity.
You're welcome, Bob Sap.
A new era has dawned in blogging. Log on to thexlog.com and experience new standards and quality in commentary and analysis. Powered by RotoExperts.com, thexlog.com brings together the top expert bloggers with all the very best the Internet has to offer. You don't have to search for the most compelling and entertaining posts and writers anymore. They will be at your one central hub for high quality. So join us as a new revolution begins in sports and entertainment, only at thexlog.com. That's THEXLOG.com.
whoever's listening out there. Like I told my last wife, I said, honey, I never drive faster than I can see. Besides that, it's on the reflexes. Just listen to the old Pork Chop Express and take his advice on a dark and stormy night, all right? When some wild-eyed 8-foot-tall maniac grabs your neck, taps the back of your favorite head up against a barroom wall, and he looks you crooked in the eye, and he asks if you've paid your dues. Well, you just stare that big sucker right back in the eye, and you remember what old Jack Burton always says at a time like that. Have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, sir, the check is in the mail.
Yes, sir, the check is in the mail. The Butcher Block. 347-326-9741. 347-326-9741. What's up, boys?
Not much.
Oh, here it comes. Here's the fucking beats kicking in. Terrible beats. Love it. Yeah, that's nice. I'm sure somebody worked long and hard on this and didn't have the movie clips that we love so much. This would be terrible. Jack Burton. Well, anyway, boys. Let's see here. We got so many places we can go. I think we're gonna. We might as well talk about the Faber Cruise thing. I know we talked about it Monday, but I don't know. Fuck it. Fuck it. Exactly. Thank you, boys. Now I know I was quite the soothsayer on Monday. I don't know if you guys listened. Well, obviously Dominic Cruz tore his ACL and can't be in the title fight against Uriah Faber anymore. But yours truly said more than likely they were going to put Faber in a interim title fight, keep that fight on the card, and this way there's a chance to have Faber with gold around his waist. Because I'm not so sure he can beat Dominic Cruz anyway. But this gives him a great opportunity to get some UFC gold and be one of the promotion's golden boys, like what they want. So it has definitely been officially announced that he will be fighting for the interim belt. His opponent hasn't been named, but I said probably Hainan Barao or Michael Mayday McDonald. So what do you guys think about that? Who do you think he's going to be fighting come, I forget when that is, but I know it's at UFC 148. I forget the date.
July 7th, I believe.
Thank you. Sounds about right.
July 7th because it's the same day that that one Mr. Chael P. Sonnen is going to be fighting Anderson Silva.
Yes, but in Vegas now because he would get killed. They found that out when they sent him down to that press conference. Did we talk about that when they sent before it all got blown up because they're going to have the title rematch in Rio and shit like that? They actually sent Chael down there to do a press conference, and he showed up at the press conference with a Groucho Marx set of glasses and nose. And when they asked him what it was about, he said, well, I had to get into disguise, so I wanted to look like the Nogueira brothers, so I could move through the crowd safely. But, you know, it's a lot of balls. That was a lot of balls considering they're Brazilian heroes, and he's in the heart of Brazil, and probably not very well liked as it is.
No, I had heard about that. I heard that that there were a lot of people upset with his shenanigans.
Sure.
Wearing the glasses, but I really don't know why the hell they were so pissed off about that particular thing.
They attacked him. They hit him with shock pens and stuff like that. They tried to get him out of the building, and the reporters were hitting him with fucking shock pens and stuff like that. It's hysterical. And that's when Dana was like, you know what? Yeah, no. They had to literally like herd him out, and Dana went one way, and then they sent then the security broke off and pulled Chael another way because they were trying to confuse the melee, and they got him out of there and got him back to the States. And Dana was like, you know what? Even if the UN thing wasn't going on, I don't know if we could really go back there anyway with what transpired because they were trying to taser him and fucking they had those, like I said, the shock pens which still carry a pretty good volt, and they fucking were sticking them with them on the way out.
Wow. No, I had not heard that at all. That's amazing.
They got him to the nearest building and helicoptered him out to the airport.
Oh, what a bunch of savages.
They would have to send in Delta
crazy
Squad
fun.
with the way everything was going. They were going to have to send in fucking Chuck Norris and Delta Squad to rescue Chael.
Jesus, going old. My goodness.
That shows you how crazy Chael is, because he tweeted the other day that he's annoyed that they had to move it. Like, he still wanted to go down there.
I know he did.
Even with all that shit.
I know he did. They would have decapitated him before he ever got out of the octagon. It would have been amazing. And my favorites, this was what I wanted to work out for my scenario. And let me tell you something. I don't take human life lightly. You know, I'm a big fan of it. I think everybody's life is precious. And, obviously I always say stuff like that. But this was what I wanted to see actually happen. I wanted to see Chael go down to Brazil, beat up Anderson Silva, take his belt, and then I just wanted to see the fucking crowd mob the octagon and just literally crush the walls in. And then all of a sudden you would just see Chael get mobbed, and all of a sudden you would just see a lone hand raise up out of the crowd with Chael's head and his spine hanging off of it.
Sub-Zero in this crowd? I'm pretty sure Sub-Zero was Japanese. Not for
well, you know what? He might be. I don't know. He's an assassin, wasn't he? I've never seen his face.
That's true.
He does.
You do have a good point
look like he does look like he's sleepy all the time. So maybe he is Japanese.
That's racist.
Wait a second. Hold on one second. I'm going to say that line again. Just wait 1 second, okay?
Hold on. Wait. Let me set
you
you
up. 1 second. Scroll.
Isn't Sub-Zero Japanese?
I don't know, Billy. I've never seen his face because it's covered all the time. But he does look sleepy all the time.
Well,
I actually like how that clip ends because I don't know if you guys were big Wonder Shows and fans. I don't know if you know the characters, and I can't really remember what's going on. But that's Chauncey. Because it of course just does like this ridiculous cut to something else that has nothing to do with the fuck they were talking about and why the kid was yelling that's racist, and then Chauncey's vomiting everywhere. I think he had AIDS or something like that in that episode. I can't remember.
That's awesome. I never got into Wonder Shows. I might have to check that out.
I've got the DVDs, Steve. Just trust me. Leave them in all night. That's not annoying for anybody else in the house.
You bastard. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because, just to continue the cruel joke that is that show. They decide to make the DVD menu with some child just going DVD, 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 and it was just all fucking night.
I would go to sleep to this. That's amazing, isn't it?
And look at how you turned out.
I know, exactly. I turned out perfectly fine.
No repercussions there.
None. No mental damage whatsoever.
I love that show. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We started talking about Chael getting his head ripped off by the Brazilians, but yeah, no, he's got balls of steel. That son of a bitch. You know, it's just they would fucking kill him. I don't think there's any security force in the world that they could get short of the fucking army of protecting him. And then you know what? That probably wouldn't look like a very fun event when you have the army sitting there with a tank in the middle of the audience.
Well, that's all right. I mean, didn't DX bring a tank one time? It's allowable.
That's fucking hysterical. And yes, I believe they did.
They rolled up on WCW.
Yeah, they did. It turned into quite an event. So I think they could get away with it. They should still have to fight in Brazil. Just roll the tank up there and get away. I think they could pull it off.
I'll tell Dana. I'll send him the clip of DX rolling up on WCW with the tank, and I'll be like, see, it can still be done. And then I'll also send him a little video clip of Tiananmen Square as well, and let him know that tanks win.
We sort of got off track a little bit, though. I think we were going to talk about the Saber.
Sub-Zero.
No, we were talking about Sub-Zero. Okay, well,
Sleepy
the hell with MMA. The hell with MMA. Let's talk about Mortal Kombat. I don't give a shit.
I don't really like Mortal Kombat. I just like the fact that Sub-Zero would pull people's heads off.
I don't think I've played a Mortal Kombat since 3. So, you know,
me neither.
That's a good, 15 years ago, maybe? I don't know. So.
Listen, I'll never play it again because if it doesn't have babalities, I ain't fucking doing it.
They do. Yeah, the new one has babalities. So
it does?
You're in.
I thought they took that out. They were like, no, we're cool again.
No, there's no friendships in it.
Okay.
You know, there's no animalities.
Oh.
But there's definitely babalities in the one that they just put out. So
do they squish the baby after they turn him into a baby?
That would be awesome, but no, they do not. Usually the baby does something embarrassing though to itself. You know,
shit itself.
That's sometimes, but
that's,
you know,
that's not
usually,
embarrassing. Babies shit themselves all the time.
But usually it's something, you know, stupid. Like the baby Sub-Zero tries to, you know, freeze something and ends up freezing its own head, and then it falls over and starts crying. You know, so.
Oh, the head should shatter.
It should, but you know.
You know, I'm only saying that because it's adorable.
Oh, shattered baby head. Isn't it cute?
Oh, how sweet.
Oh, look, there's pieces of baby skull.
Delicious.
That's just
I'm sure Brian's got a picture of that somewhere.
Oh,
you know, I do. I don't know if you know this, Billy, but I once I won what's called the Abortion Award in League Brutal, our football league. And this is why everybody dreads to open up the website every morning on Sundays, because I scoured the internet for a late-term abortion picture and threw that up in the story. I made everybody cry and vomit all at the same time.
I do remember hearing of some complete outrage over some photos you posted in the message board.
Several of them. That was not a good one.
You used to regale me with tales of your story writing prowess, but you also used to just scour the interwebs looking for something absolutely filthy and awful to make your fellow players squirm. So, of course, I couldn't actually read them myself because I'm a little squeamish.
I believe it all started out with what the fuck was it? Oh God. Oh yeah, this is why I use the word dick sauce all the time, because I was fucking sitting there. I was scouring. I was poring over and masturbating, of course, pictures of gay porn. Okay, because I wanted to throw up a dude like fucking getting throat jobbed by another dude just to fucking fuck with everybody, and then I was like, I don't think I can do that. That's like wrong to do to everybody. So I found a little cartoon, So I was like, you know what? It's just a drawing. So drawing is the same thing I was looking for, so this won't make everybody cry, But the caption was like, fucking eat my dick sauce, faggot, or some shit like that. So I was like, yeah, all right, that's fucking perfect. You know what? It's actually better because there's a word bubble over the whole thing. I don't know how we got into this, and I guess even though that's not racist, I guess I should give myself one of these.
That's racist!
Oh, well, oh.
He's puking, Billy. He can't help it.
Oh man. How did we get here? We were talking about.
I don't remember. Yeah, we were talking about Faber. Eating dick sauce. Something like that. I don't know. I'm tired. I apologize. I'm going off topic.
It's all right. I think I brought us there by bringing up Chael P. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's my fault. We got up that topic.
Yeah. How dare you?
See, you were directing traffic, and I diverted it. So
nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Faber getting the interim shot. That's what we were talking about, which, like I said, I was the fucking genius, the soothsayer on Monday talking about it. Because Cruz is going to be laid up for like 6 months, maybe longer. So it makes a lot of sense.
They're saying 9.
They're saying 9?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize. I thought it was only like 6 months. See, so that's even longer. So Faber will actually have to defend that title then.
Possibly, yeah.
If he wins it. Because Michael Mayday McDonald is a fucking beast, and Hanan Barao has looked like a fucking animal as well. So those are two candidates that I think are going to be stepping up to get in there.
I think either one of them is an interesting fight. I mean, McDonald, like you said, is just sort of just walking through dudes almost.
Absolutely.
To be honest with you, I mean, I can't really make a call as to who would be a better fight. I think that they're both interesting, matchups for Faber. I think I probably would have rather see, Faber from about 3 years ago fight either of these dudes, because I do think that, while he still fights a pretty ridiculous pace and he's still, that kind of got that weird style where he's unpredictable. I think he's kind of slowed down a little bit. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why Dominic Cruz completely outpointed him in that last fight. Was because Faber really couldn't catch him. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Hanan Barao, he can all of a sudden just throw ridiculous axe kicks and, and do shit like that. He's a scary dude too. That's just sort of walking through people. I mean, hell, he usually gets. I can't think of what the hell I'm saying, but he usually chokes dudes out. Takes limbs home with him, stuff like that. He's a very explosive fighter. He doesn't. He usually doesn't go to decision. So I don't know, man. Either one of those fights is real interesting. I'm just glad. I'm a Uriah fan, so I'm happy to see. I'd be happy to see him get some sort of gold around his waist, even if it is only the fake belt until Dominic comes back and probably, run circles around him again. I'm sort of glad. I am glad that it's not going to be just, a nothing replacement fight. That it is going to be a title fight, and that we're going to get to see him fight. See him fight for a belt and possibly defend it. If depending on how long Cruz is on the shelf.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I'm happy that they announced that it's going to be an interim title fight. Who would you want to see him fight, Steve? And, what do you think his chances are against either one of those guys?
I think both fights are, would be not, pretty difficult for a Faber. Like Billy said, at this point in his career, he might have lost a slight step. A Faber from 3 years ago, I think, could probably take either one of these guys, but McDonald is such a beast. I wouldn't want to see that fight just because I'm also, a Faber fan. And I don't know. I think they both present problems for him at this stage in his career. So I think it would be good to see him with a belt, but it's not a guaranteed thing, where you're like, all right, he'll beat these guys and then we'll get the Faber Cruz fight again that we want to see. It might not work out that way for Faber. Like I wanted to because I am a fan, but these are tough fights for him.
I definitely agree with you. I think, like you guys both said, both of these dudes pose interesting problems. I definitely, it's a fight. You could be shocked, but I definitely think if Michael Mayday gets the call, which I think he deserves over Hanan Barao, he's been doing a lot of work over there in the WEC and hasn't sniffed the title shot yet. And then he just easily dispatched Miguel Torres in his last fight. I mean, the dude is a young guy. I mean, he's fucking really young. He's like maybe 20, 21 years old, I think. He's been fighting a long time now. He's 21?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's 21 now. And, the one loss on his career he avenged. I mean, the guy is a serious dude, and he's got real heavy hands for the lightweight class like that. And I think he definitely deserves it. Now, of course, then you got Hanan Barao, who's just destroying everybody as well. And, you could argue that he deserves it as well. I think Uriah probably has a better chance against Barao than he does Mayday. So I think the UFC, you're going to see them, and I hate to say it because normally they put out the toughest fights, the best fights possible. Both those two guys should be the first two guys in line. if out of those two guys, I would see them matching up Burrell with Faber before McDonald, just because I think McDonald goes in and fucks Faber up big time. I just can't see. He's fast as shit. He's got knockout power. Faber has been knocked out before. He's dangerous. I just think, Faber and Burrell match up better, but I could also see them possibly finding somebody else in that division who might deserve it, and I'm using air quotes, people, when I say that, just because the dream thing here is Faber gets gold. They need Faber to win that belt. You know what I'm saying? Because even while Dominic Cruz is getting healed up and everything, like I said, he's going to have to defend the belt, and that's just gold in their pocket. Everybody loves Uriah Faber. Everybody's going to be sitting there. They're going to buy pay-per-views with Uriah Faber on it. So, obviously, when he's got to defend the belt, they can't keep pushing down those dudes if they even do it this time. Normally they make the best matchups. I just don't know if they'll do it because, this is probably Faber's last chance to get a UFC title. You know what I'm saying? And I think they might give him a matchup that gets him that belt. And then, of course, he's going to have to fight Michael Mayday McDonald, and Michael Mayday McDonald's going to blast his fucking chin apart.
No, I'd agree with that, Brian, that I think Faber matches up a little bit better with Burrell. But, I mean, either one of them is sort of, like I said, a scary prospect for him.
Oh, yeah.
Burrell, even though he's only 4 years older than McDonald, he has about twice as many fights.
Yeah, he's a fucking scary dude.
Yeah. Twice as many fights, only one loss. He's, so I don't know, maybe you can either say, hey, experience or, wear and tear, one or the other, toss-up, whether or not his body has more miles on it, to work against him, or whether or not, the experience would be, would work in his favor. Again, I do agree. I think that would be, the better fight for Faber, but neither one of them is going to be a layup by any means, because these dudes are just sort of trucking through dudes. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I think it'd be a great fight either way. And, I mean, again, we already know that Chael's fighting Silva on that card, so I'm dialed in either way. So.
Of course. Unfortunately, we don't get the Sub-Zero ending like we were talking about before. So, I'm very interested because they haven't named anybody yet. You think they would have already, because they got to have dudes in mind. That's why I'm thinking, maybe they're trying to figure out, all right, well, this guy technically is up there too. Let's have him matches up real well. Faber matches up real well with him. I would rather than put the best dude out there, and then if Faber pulls it off, then you know what? Fuck me, I'm wrong. Fuck me. But, I definitely think they want to see Faber get that belt. It just makes more sense that way. And then, of course, if Faber can hold on to that belt and get the dream matchup with Dominic Cruz, it's not going to be the best sold pay-per-view ever, but it'll definitely be a fucking very, very well-received pay-per-view if that can happen. So, I'm going to be definitely glued to my computer as if I'm not every day anyway, trying to find out who the hell it is that they're going to get in there and fight Faber.
Glued.
Come on now. But they did say Cruz is going to finish out the season of Ultimate Fighter, which makes sense because me and Dolo were discussing it the other night. And I think it's too short a notice since, of course, the Ultimate Fighter is live this year. They really couldn't pull in another coach and have him start up and shit like that, so they couldn't finish it that way. They'll just have that guy train on the side.
I don't know. The notice was if you think about it, with previous seasons, the notice was shorter. I mean, think about when.
Think so?
Yeah, because.
I guess the filming schedule is longer.
The filming schedule is much longer now. I mean, they're there for 13 weeks. I think they're there for twice as long as they used to be.
Right.
And the season where it was Tito and Chuck, and Tito had to pull out of the Chuck fight, and Dana said, all right, peace. We're bringing in, what's his name?
Rich Franklin.
Rich Franklin. Yeah. Okay, well, he came in the week of the next fight.
Right.
That was, so it's not unheard of. They could have said, sorry, Dom, you're done. It's just that they probably, I don't know, maybe they don't think that Mayday or any of the names that we've been throwing around, maybe they don't think that they're right for the show. Maybe they just think that, you know, the sheer hatred between Uriah and Dominic is going to continue to carry the show. You got to figure that with when they replaced Tito, it was literally the last fight of the season. Right. You know, that Franklin came in for. So they didn't even really have the Chuck Tito rivalry to capitalize on anymore. They just said, okay, toss them. You know, while they're still not as chatty as some of the past coaches who haven't liked each other, you know, it's starting to get a little more interesting. You're starting to see a little of this, you know, supposed hatred between these two guys, where we were complaining the first 2 weeks that, you know, they were the most lukewarm people who, you know, that supposedly hate each other ever. You know, I think that's probably more what it is, that Dominic is actually coaching well. It is close. You know, it's 5-3 as far as the fights go, and you know they're going to make their interplay with one another that they can't stand each other is going to
turtle play
is going to carry the show, is what they probably think. As far as announcing a fighter for Faber, an opponent for Faber, it's probably because they don't know how or if they want to juggle the rest of the card, because Barao is already on the July 7th card fighting Ivan Menjivar. And, you know, yeah. So, you know, McDonald because I think that's actually, those are the three names that when Faber found out that he was going to be fighting for the interim title, the three names he spit out were McDonald, Barao, and Ivan Menjivar. Well, two of those dudes are already fighting on that card. You know,
looks like they're payday by default. Faber's in trouble. Faber is in trouble.
Yeah, so.
I forgot that they were fighting on that card.
Yeah.
Faber's going to get knocked out, I think.
Oh, man.
That becomes a number one contenders match, and Faber fights McDonald.
That's true. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Know what? And that might have been the number one contenders match anyway. I forgot they were fighting on there. You know?
Right.
So now you already got that guy fighting, unless they're going to turn around and go, you know what, we're going to give it to either Menjivar or Barao and shake that up and then slip Mayday into that spot and make him number one contender. You know, that's the only other possible scenario that could happen. I forgot those two dudes were fighting on that card.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So that's why you got to do your research, kids. Stay in school.
Or just go on Wikipedia. Yeah.
No.
One or the other.
No.
Oh.
You found that in a textbook.
I did. Yeah.
Those textbooks are full of useful information.
Like MMA stats and sketches.
Right, the MMAs. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But I'm going to move it over to Strikeforce now, just because. Yeah. And I know it sounds like I'm not segueing, but I am. Because I talked about how I was a soothsayer with Faber getting the interim shot, and that's what ended up happening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know nobody listens to the show, so I'm really just talking to you and Steve, okay? But I do believe when I brought up the fact that Tyron Woodley was going to be fighting Nate Marquardt at a future Strikeforce event, I believe I said something to the effect of, I guarantee you that when those two guys lock it up, that they're going to put the vacant welterweight title on the line and anoint one of them champion. And it's been months since that fight was announced. Well, guess what just happened, boys? Guess what just happened? It's official. Tyron Woodley and Nate Marquardt are going to be fighting for the welterweight title in Strikeforce.
Oh,
you know what? You know that? Look at me, huh? Look at me over here. Hold on a second. I'm scrolling. Hold on a second. Scrolling. Oh, I can't find anything. Never mind. I was going to...
Scroll button.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Listen. Perfect. I think you're talking this. This is fucking great. I don't have the Geniuses music, so I'll have to just throw Mr. Perfect on. It still works.
It kind of works, right? Listen, nobody's
Sure.
listening anyway, so who's going to judge us, okay? Honestly. Not the guys at Roto Experts, who I wasn't even going to play that commercial because I had the Bob Sapp commercial, but I still decided to anyway, so you're welcome. And, there's certainly no fans are. But what do you think about that? Tyron Woodley, Nate Marquardt for the welterweight title. Now, we all know Tyron Woodley is not that exciting of a fighter. He likes to lay on people. And Nate Marquardt can hurt people because he's a wrestler as well, too. How do you see that one going? Do you think Tyron Woodley comes away as champion, or do you think Nate Marquardt is finally going to hold some gold? Men may be impressed with us, so what they'll do is after Nate Marquardt beats Tyron Woodley and takes that gold, they'll just bring him right back over to the UFC and that belt will be vacant again.
I personally see Nate's wrestling, it's the typical wrestler grappler matchup that I think he's probably going to sort of negate Woodley's grappling, he does have a little bit of dynamite that he throws. So I personally see Nate the Great, pulling away with the title.
Nice.
As far as coming back over to the UFC, that's where they're all going to eventually end up anyway. But I think that I don't see it for right now. I mean, number one, he was exiled from the UFC for the whole raised testosterone levels and whatnot, and there are already people kind of going, hey, the fact that he's back with the company anyway just shows that apparently you can be geeked up to your fucking eyeballs and still get a job again. So, there's already some people in that camp, not to mention the fact that they have to at least pretend to be trying to put together some sort of MMA product with Strikeforce, since they're making poor Gil wait over there forever. So I think that, that whoever gets the honor, and I'm using your air quotes, whoever gets the honor of being...
I sort of using the air quotes, by the way. I just want to say that.
Oh, nice. Whoever gets the honor of holding this Strikeforce title is going to be languishing in Strikeforce hell until the company finally dies its last gasp. I would have thought that if they just left it vacant, that these guys would have had a better shot at being pulled over to the UFC at some point. The fact that they're even going to bother putting the belt on someone, they're going to pretend to have a division. They folded the heavyweight division because they said there wasn't enough of them to support. Enough heavyweights to support it. That's why they folded it and, absorbed it into the UFC. If they're going to bother to put a belt on somebody, they're going to at least, make a somewhat of an attempt to actually support the division and pretend that it's a real promotion. That's what I have to say about it.
I don't know what happened. I got thrown off. It's ridiculous. Shitty program that we run on. I don't know where we were. I don't know if Steve picked up or you were done. But
Steve has not picked up yet. I will throw it to him. Steve,
throw
what
it to him,
do you think?
and then I'll throw in my 2 cents after Steve goes.
Well, I think that Marquardt would probably pull this out. But, again, like Billy said, what does that really mean? He's just going to be still stuck in Strikeforce, until, like you said, until it folds, and then maybe they'll bring him back over. But, I mean, it's just kind of, I think this is just kind of a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's just, they're just fulfilling the contract, to the minimal amount because, they don't want Showtime bitching and all that about how there's no product, and that's why they can't bring Gil over. So, they're thrown out there with a name who will probably win the belt, and, then they'll just kind of become like a placeholder until it's time where they can finally get out of this contract.
Well, I honestly don't know how Gil Melendez hasn't killed himself yet. I really don't. If I was in his shoes, I would probably have fucking painted the ceiling red at this point because here's where I'm going to disagree with you guys. All right? I do think Dave Marquardt is definitely going to win the title. And then I'm going to be laughing Sunday morning at the shit show that Strikeforce is with this whole Zuffa deal and how we're pretending like it's, never going to just be dissolved or anything like that. Because I think then you're going to see Sunday morning that Nate Marquardt was invited back with welcome arms because they have already softened their stance on Nate Marquardt, saying, he's a really great guy and, there's been some time and water has passed under the bridge. And they, at some point they would really love to have Marquardt back because, even though it's been a couple mistakes and some bumps along the road, they really do think he is a genuinely good guy and represents the sport pretty well. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to be anointed the new welterweight champion, and then we're all going to sit there and go, this fucking organization is a joke, because then their welterweight title is going to be up for grabs again because they're going to pull him right in, and, that's the end of that. But as for Gil, I mean, when this happens, that's it. It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. We're going to be reading about him in the paper. We're going to go, what the fuck do I have to do? I am a consensus top 5 lightweight in the world. Some people even put me as high as 1. And I am just languishing over here in Strikeforce. And, as we remember, Gil was calling out saying he wanted to fight the best of the best. If they won't take me over to the UFC, then bring some of the top dudes over here to fucking take my belt away from me. And apparently he wasn't just spouting off. Apparently there were fights offered. One, BJ Penn declined a title fight with Gil Melendez over in Strikeforce because I guess he doesn't want to lose because Gil Melendez would kill BJ Penn. He would fucking rearrange his face, whereas I want to borrow a quote from last Friday's Ultimate Fighter. I'm going to take his face home with me, and then I'm going to rearrange it, which I thought was very funny and clever. So I think Gil would just take BJ's face home with him and fucking rearrange it later. Penn declined to fight with Melendez and is preparing to return to the UFC's 170-pound division to be mediocre. So, I think BJ should have took that deal. We all know Gil's a top fucking 5 lightweight. I guess he doesn't want to lose again. He wants to. The dude definitely is ready to fucking call it quits and hang it up. He's been on the fence for a while now, so I guess maybe he does want to go out with a win or 2 under his belt, so I guess that might be the thinking behind it. But, if the guy still claims he has the drive and the fire to fight, that would have been perfect. Fighting Gil Melendez, if he takes his belt, there's no way the UFC was going to keep him there. He would have to give the belt back anyway. He'd come right back to the UFC, and then Gil can have it again.
Here you go, buddy. I'm done with it. I played with it for an hour.
Because he's BJ Penn. There's no way that fucking Showtime could ever go, we want BJ Penn to defend that belt. Dana would go, no! It's BJ Penn! Fuck off!
He's a UFC fighter.
Yeah. So,
this is a special one-time deal.
What about this? I know you've talked about this before. I believe on the Monday show, or maybe we talked about it a couple weeks ago. But,
I don't listen to the Monday show, so I don't know what
Pettis is starting off saying that he should get the fight over, before Diaz gets the fight.
Is that
so why not send him there? I know we talked about this before, but why not, if he wants to do it, if he wants to open it up, then he should step up and fight Melendez, at least get that belt, because I don't know why he thinks that he would get the title shot over Nate Diaz. And if he's sick of waiting for it, then go fight somebody else. And then, figure out some way to unify the belts that Showtime won't bitch about.
I agree with you, Steve, but again, we run into the problem of it being Strikeforce, okay? The same reason why I think Gil Melendez is going to blow his brains out at some point if this whole situation doesn't work itself out is the same reason why if poor Anthony Showtime Pettis, he's even got the name Showtime, okay? You don't think Showtime's going to latch onto that if he somehow beats Gil for the belt? It'll be a nightmare for him. He doesn't want to be fucking stuck over there. Nobody does.
But it just seems that he's just never going to get this title shot. So he might as well try to get one belt at least. Every time he's in line for it, something else pops up, and so at least he'll have some kind of gold around his waist.
I know what you're saying, and I agree with you because you know what, he hasn't had it since he upset Benson Henderson with that fucking kick off the side of the cage and took the WEC title, but unfortunately he couldn't beat Clay Guida. Okay, so sorry, bro. You're falling a few steps back, okay? And with what Nate Diaz just did to Jimmy Miller, let's quit your crying because I'm sorry. Anthony Pettis couldn't do that to Jimmy Miller. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you this right now. Jimmy Miller smokes Anthony Showtime Pettis in a heartbeat, okay? So I'm sorry, dude. Take your back seat and wait your fucking turn, all right? I understand him being a little pissed off because of where he was and everything, but you know, Nate has definitely hit that next level. His career has pretty much mirrored his brother's career because, you know, when Nick got when he was about, his record was about 15-7, 16-7. All of a sudden he went on the tear. He went, and you know that's where Nate's at now. He's ascended to the next level fighter. He fucking has destroyed Donald Cerrone and Jimmy Miller in a row. And all right, we'll fucking put Gomi in there too. But Gomi, you know, he hasn't been anybody since Pride, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, who hasn't beaten Gomi lately?
Right, exactly. Listen, between me and you guys, okay, between me and you guys, I could probably be attacking Gomi now, okay? Let's keep that between us, okay? Because I don't want to fucking start no beefs, you know what I mean? And I'm really hoping to have Gomi as a guest one day. Obviously, we're a fucking hot product out there. He's going to fucking want to come on. I don't want any hard feelings, you know?
Can he speak?
Exactly.
No, he can't. That's why. That'll be the joke behind it all. We'll say things he doesn't understand. I will go, you look very tired today, Mr. Gomi.
Oh, well.
Is everything okay over there?
Personally, I think Nate should actually fight Pettis, to be perfectly honest. I know it's, yeah, I do. Because here's the thing, all right? Bendo, Frankie, it ain't happening until UFC 150, okay?
Right.
Now, as we've all said, depending on how that fight plays out, we don't know if there's going to be a Ben Henderson, Frankie 3. We don't know if someone's going to get seriously hurt and then be on the shelf. So let's say that Frankie doesn't finish Henderson or vice versa. There's no real clear decisive win there. And then whoever's on the losing end, say if Henderson loses and he wants an immediate rematch, and then we go to another one. Now Nate's waiting, another 6 to 9 months before he has another payday. All right.
Right.
So personally, I think, he should actually fight, Pettis. I'm not saying that, Pettis' stock is quite where it was when he was first brought over from the WEC. I mean, as you pointed out, he lost to Guida, and Guida's a grinder and a gamer, and he always comes to fight you at 100 miles an hour. And so he's not an easy dude to get around, but I mean, still, if you're talking about being at the top of the division, you should still be able to get by Guida. All right. So yeah, his stock is lowered a little bit. I don't think that he's just automatic for a title shot anymore. But I think that for everybody involved, Nate it would actually be a good idea. I mean, one, for Nate's pocket, he gets another payday under his belt. Two, it's probably going to be it's probably going to be a pretty damn decent fight. So whether it has a finish or it's just a fight of the night candidate, you're talking about possibly bonus money too. If Nate beats Pettis, then guess what? Now Pettis can shut his friggin' mouth, and when Nate does fight for the title, he doesn't really have anybody crying that, I was promised a title shot as soon as I got here, and I've been waiting, through all these rematches, and, blah, 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 blah. And we don't have to have all that bullshit, If Nate beats Pettis, which I think he would, pretty easily, like you're saying, then, hey, he's got some extra coin in his pocket. He's not on the shelf for so long, which isn't really good for fighters anyway. The cage corrosion, as my buddy from Strikeforce would say.
Moro?
And then, what's his face?
Moro.
Moro, so he doesn't sit on the shelf. He gets another payday, and then by the time the belt is actually ready to be defended, he'll be ready to fight for it too. So that's what I think. Yeah, I mean, I think what Steve said is also a decent idea. Send his ass over there to fight for gold against Gilbert, and then just get fucking beasted. But I think Nate should fight him. Just because.
Well, I think they could beat him too. I mean, I'm not even worried about that. Of course, anything can happen, but I really am confident Nate beats him. It's just, and you are right. I guess a serious injury could happen because we know Frankie ain't met a punch that he's going to fucking not take, So, I mean, it could fucking be really bad. So I guess it would make sense. It could be a fight that they could fill in because I know people are rallying around. A lot of people are saying you should fight him and everything, and you know how things can change pretty quickly with the UFC because, they tend to do what the fans want. They definitely talk to their fans, and they also try to do the right thing by their fighters. So they might give Pettis a chance, but Pettis is going to be in for a rude awakening because I don't see him really being able to take that fight anywhere that Diaz can't win that fight, Like I said, I was impressed with his jiu-jitsu that he couldn't finish on Guida. Guida worked out of all those subs. Nate's going to get in those. Nate's not even going to get in those positions to have to get out of them, And as for the striking, it's two different types of striking. But again, we know Nate's just going to fucking keep throwing punches and landing them, and eventually they're just going to wear down the Pettis anyway. Especially when as aggressive as Pettis is, he opens himself up. So, so you know what? You do bring up interesting points, Billy. Maybe they should fight. Hopefully it works out the way I think it should, and Nate holds a spot, and then we got ourselves a legitimate #1 contender. That's it. Nobody can be crying. Then maybe even Steve's scenario can work out for the future then, that Showtime goes, fuck, I'm screwed over again. Maybe I'll go try my luck with Gil Melendez and just have his face fucking rearranged because he can't beat Gil Melendez. That's impossible. I mean, he could have beat Guida. And when Gil first got that Strikeforce title, who did he win it against? Guida. Okay? Guida took fucking Gil Melendez to a decision because he's just such a nasty, gritty fighter. Showtime ain't going to make it to the belt. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Gil's an animal now. It's ridiculous. That is an interesting scenario. And you know what? I'm gonna consider it, and I'm going to write it up, and I'm going to let the UFC know that this is the way it's got to be, Billy. You've changed my mind, and I'm going to use my pull over there to try to get this on a fight card fairly soon.
Nice. Get it done.
Thank you. I'll show them. I was fucking 48-0 a couple of different times in UFC Undisputed 3. Let's fucking get this done. I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Jesus.
48-0. It's unheard of. And they still retired me. It's ridiculous. It's not fair. There's no reason to care for my safety. It's not like I was getting knocked out every fight like Chuck, I was fine. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. But anyway, I guess sticking with Strikeforce. Maybe we'll move on. I was just going to say that Ronda Rousey's going to be fighting Sarah Kaufman in August. And I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Of course, I believe Ronda Rousey will break her arm as well. But, another fan favorite of mine, Keith Jardine will be finally making his return to Strikeforce as well. But this one's going to be in July at a Strikeforce event yet to be named. And he's going to be fighting Roger Gracie. Now, I'm going to say this with a heavy heart. I think if Keith loses here, that's it. It's over, Johnny. It's a done deal. I think Keith's got to pack it in because, things are getting rough. So I hope the best for him. I'm going to be paying attention to that. These are just little snippets. I'm getting to a little bit more meat here, because we only got 17 minutes here. I know you guys are a big fan of one Dakota Cochran. Okay, I know you guys are. I believe you and Steve got all his videos and watch them together every so often.
Danny Hardcore.
Yeah, Danny Hardcore. Well, he's obviously tried out for the Ultimate Fighter, did not win, and or get in the house. I'm sorry, I didn't even say he won. But he's going to be fighting a former Ultimate Fighter winner, and I guess a lovable loser, because I was a little upset when the UFC released it, but they just couldn't deal with it anymore with the losses piling up. Joe Daddy Stevenson at RFA 3. They're going to be headlining the event, and I can't wait. I'm really stoked about this. I'll probably forget, and I won't watch it because I tend to forget about things that I get all excited about because they seem cool on paper at first. But how do you like that? Joe Stevenson getting in the cage with Danny Hardcore, boys.
Well, I just don't know what to say about that. What's the last thing I saw Joe Daddy do? When was the last time I saw him fight?
You saw him lose. I believe he got choked out. Let's see, he lost to BJ Penn. I believe he lost to Diego Sanchez. I believe he lost to Kenny Florian. And they might have let him get that rare fourth loss in a row in the UFC, because usually you lose 3 in a row and you're gone. So they might have let Joe pile up a fourth loss in a row. And then I believe he fought in an RFA event not too long ago and won. But,
and lost again?
No, he didn't lose. He didn't. Wait, actually, you know what? I could be wrong. Hold on one second. Let me look up Joe Stevenson's record. It's possible that he lost. I think because, listen, Joe's not that old, but he's had a lot of fights. He's got a lot of miles on his body. Now my computer's got AIDS all of a sudden. Oh, well.
His last fight was almost a year ago? Really?
Probably, yeah.
June 26th was a UD loss to Javier Vasquez.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, so he hasn't fought for RFA yet, then? Or has he?
Not, unless Steven,
yeah.
No, I mean, that's it. Yeah.
He hasn't made his debut, so he's making his debut against Danny Hardcore. That's right, because they let him go down to featherweight. Yeah, see, that was his 4th loss in a row. The Covade 4th loss in a row in the UFC. Not many people get them. You can't lose 4 in a row.
RFA, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I really didn't have much on that. I just figured I'd bring it up because we all know Danny Hardcore's fast. He can take him eating dicks, so, good for him.
I'd be more interesting if that one-armed kid that fights was on that card than Danny Hardcore and Joe Daddy Stevenson. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah, I have. He makes me puke.
Well, all right then. I'm glad I could make you uncomfortable.
I'm just kidding, Billy. I have a thing where I have like these little fantasies about, amputees sometimes. I'm just
I just can't help but think about the crippled masters every time I see this kid on the MMA news.
I think I might put that on when we're done with the show. Wow. Crippled masters. I love that fucking movie. Those dudes are fucking badass, man. They don't let their fucking their non-humanness get them down or anything.
They're definitely handy capable.
Absolutely. They're kicking dudes' asses and shit. Everybody go check it out. The Crippled Masters. They fucking... You know what? Let me find a YouTube video real quick. The Crippled Masters. YouTube.com, people. And let me just type in the Crippled Masters. Listen, it's the first show back. That's, you know what? I don't even know if this is any good, but I'm having a decent time. I don't give a fuck. Crippled Masters.
I got a question for you guys. Going back to Ronda Rousey. Apparently,
want to bang
what's her name? Well, Miles Conan is calling out Ronda Rousey.
I know.
You think Dana would let her go over there and fight over there, or bring Conan over here to fight one, just to get like not a super fight, because I wouldn't call it a women's event a super fight, but
come on, Rousey's fucking badass.
Yeah, I know. She's actually supposed to headline one of the Strikeforce events. So Dana's jumping behind her, not behind women's fighting so much, but behind Rousey. But sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes he kind of lets some of the fighters go and fight in other things. So you think he'd let her go to Invicta to fight, or at least at the very least bring Conan over here so that he can get the money for it? Or do you think that this is not going to happen anytime soon?
Well, listen, if Strikeforce was 100% going and flying under the Zuffa banner, I would quote what Dana always says: we don't fucking co-promote, we don't let people fight in other organizations, but most of the people signed to strictly Strikeforce contracts, unless Rousey re-upped, which I believe she was signed before the Zuffa acquisition. I don't know if she re-upped since, and I don't know if they've changed any of the wording in the Strikeforce contracts, but all those fighters were allowed to fight in other organizations. So anybody who's still fighting under their old contracts, they're allowed to do that. If Rousey wanted to go over and fight, if she's still working under an old Strikeforce contract, she's absolutely allowed to. She can do that. So you can't stop it. It's the same as that's why they originally fired Overeem from his Strikeforce contract and dissolved it and bought out the contract so UFC could sign him and stop his shenanigans of fucking flying all over the world and destroying cans all over the place. So yeah, I guess I didn't give a definitive answer. I would say yes, I would let them, because Zuffa really still has no interest in a women's division no matter what they say. So it might be a way for them to start letting the women have a mass exodus over there, proving that they still have really good women fighters and stuff like that. And also, they can make themselves look legit, that they had the best at the time if they do change their mind with the whole women's fighting shit and they want to keep them. So there's a few different things they could do with it, I guess. But, yeah, I could see that happening. But they're not going to bring Kunin back to Strikeforce, because that's why they fired her, because she didn't want to soften her stance with the Golden Glory camp.
Sure. I was wondering, because
it's been a lot of work.
I was wondering because they're having like one of these, since like what everybody's doing these days, they're having one of these Twitter wars. So I just wanted to see if it was possible that we actually get this fight, or or if we did, it's just verbal garbage until Strikeforce finally dissolves and the women fighters can go elsewhere. I'm just curious.
I absolutely think it's possible, and I think we will see it. But not in Strikeforce. Definitely not in Strikeforce.
Understood.
And I definitely like to see that, because I find Ronda Rousey rather attractive. Okay, so the more I see her fight, the happier I am. And Marloes Kunin isn't bad looking either, so that wouldn't be a bad looking fight. I'm sorry, like Phil Baroni over here. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I was so uncomfortable for her when she went to watch the Rashad fight over at the Tuck House.
Oh, God, how uncomfortable was that, Billy?
That was just, it was painful to watch. And my least favorite guy in that house was the only one who was trying to make some form of conversation with her. What's his face?
Dribble, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Tickle. Yeah, he was. He was the only one that was like making any attempt to talk to her, but it was just so uncomfortable, and they were all so awkward, and there was always about 3 feet of space between her and the next person. It was sort of funny because they all acted like they had never seen a fucking girl before, but it was just so uncomfortable to watch, because there she is, obviously miserable. And just sort of being a trooper,
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know how they're not there, I would have been sitting on her lap,
I love Faber's take on it. He's just like, they're the first tough cast that actually had a woman in the house, and they all just fucking blew it.
I'm a fucking idiot.
God, I forgot to do that last week. I missed it because I don't get home until right before the live fight.
Oh, that was actually 2 weeks ago. That was actually 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago. Cruz brought her in to show his team judo, and they were all just getting tossed around like fucking dolls, and it was hysterical to watch this woman put all these big men's, like on their backs with authority, and and then because it was the week of the Rashad Jones fight, so she went to the Tough House to watch the pay-per-view, and all of these dorks were all just like, oh my God, there's a girl in here, and none of them talked to her. She was sitting on the couch, and literally, Steve, I shit you not, there was 2 feet of space between her and like the 2 dudes who were practically sitting in each other's laps so that they didn't get too close to her. Okay.
I would have came out with a lap towel.
It was like a 6th grade dance.
It was total 7th grade dance. Only there was only one chick in the entire room.
Nice. I don't know how she didn't get mauled.
Because there were cameras and people watching.
I would just put a mask on. They'll never figure out who I am, not through process of elimination or anything.
Or DNA.
Exactly.
Or DNA.
Because you would have been leaving it all over the place from the second you walked in the door.
Dude, like I said, I would have sat down next to her, I would have fucking just a lap towel on and been like, hey, is this cool?
So what are we going to do about this?
Exactly. Hey, what are we going to do about this? Hey. Well, we only have 4 minutes. We only have 4 minutes left, so I'm going to throw a couple things at you and then wrap the show up.
Okay.
Obviously, there's the fight card happening next Tuesday, and then I believe the Strike Force event. But the next UFC event, UFC 146, there's been a couple of changes on the card. Gabe Gonzaga is out versus Big Country. The Sandwich, Roy Nelson. In the fight, Big Country is Dave Pee Wee Herman, who we most recently saw get knocked out by Stefan Struve. And the other change on the card, which Jamie Varner, I ruined the surprise already, but Jamie Varner is probably fucking thanking his lucky stars or whatever god he prays to, if he prays to one, because he has been pulled out of MMA hell and traveling all across the world in these small promotions, and the UFC has thrown him a hook because Evan Dunham got injured, and Evan Dunham was supposed to be facing Edson Barbosa. So they put the call in Jamie Varner, and he said, fuck yes, I'll be there tomorrow. He will be at 146 replacing Evan Dunham. Obviously, we know Jamie Varner is the one of the most hated men in MMA. Nobody likes him, not even the judges. Former WEC lightweight champion. Donald Cerrone should have beat him, and then he pretended like the illegal knee that Cerrone threw really hurt him and stuff, so he got the win, which is sweet. He held on to his title. Benson Henderson definitely trounced him to beat him for real and stuff. But I started to like Jamie Varner because, you know what? Everybody hates him, thinks he's a fucking complaining bitch and shit. But in that fight against Kamal Shalarus, remember that, Steve? We fucking know Jamie Varner won that fight, and the refs fucked him because everybody hates this dude. He is the real villain of MMA. So it's about time he gets his chance because he hasn't fought in the UFC in like fucking 7 years. So he's finally coming back, and I'm actually kind of excited for him. I hope he wins and he sticks around because I love it when dudes are booed legitimately. Like, Koscheck has kind of become like a cartoon character where people boo him like they were booing him in Newark this past weekend. Jamie Varner, it's real boos. They hate him. They want to see his head come off in there.
Hey, I think he's fighting on the undercard, right, Varner?
Yeah, because it's still an all-heavyweight main card, but it's still going to be great. I hope he wins. So, I know I got a little long-winded there, so I actually got to kind of wrap up. So if you boys got anything to say it now or forever hold your cocks.
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I'm probably going to hold my cock no matter what.
That's true. Well, you know, it is. Sometimes that's what you got to do to get some sleep around here. You know what I mean? I don't even. All right, everybody remember to check out Roto Experts. Check out thexlog.com. Check me out at Cauliflower 4 here on Twitter. Check Bill out at BillBrown1 or no?
BillBrown1 I never post anything, so whatever.
Nice. Check Steve out at Captain Solo07 at Twitter. Am I correct about this?
Yep.
All right, then. And remember, check Cauliflower for the years on Monday nights. We will be back next week just fucking spouting off because that's what we do. So everybody...